This past weekend, I had the amazing opportunity to watch two really great movies with my youngest son, my 8-year-old son. The first one was about the Brazilian soccer player Pele, considered to be probably the greatest soccer player of all time. Pele, I mean, if you watch his story, is an absolutely amazing story. Um, Grew up with a very, 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 very poor family and ended up becoming the youngest player ever to win the World Cup with his team Brazil back in 1958 and went on to win, I think, at least one or two more World Cups. Absolutely amazing, amazing story. Definitely inspiring. You know, his family was very, very, very poor. His dad ended up was a really great soccer player as well, but got hurt and never ever made it big time. And the second movie that we watched was a movie on Kobe Bryant. Both of these films are on Showtime. So, you know, if you're interested, you can go and watch them. But really, both of them are really, really inspiring films. And I wanted my son to watch these films because he's big into sports. He's a basketball player. Even though he's 8 years old, I know that he'll go on to become at least, you know, play in high school, hopefully college, and who knows beyond that. But I wanted him to watch these because these two guys to me embody what the ultimate athlete are. You know, Pele, like I said earlier, is considered to be the greatest soccer player of all time. Greatest soccer player of all time. And Kobe, although I don't necessarily consider him to be the greatest basketball player of all time, he's definitely one of the greatest of all time. You know, Pele won, I think, 3 World Cups. Um, Kobe Bryant won 5 World Championships. Um, you know, I consider Michael Jordan to be the greatest basketball player of all time, but Kobe's definitely up there. Kobe's probably definitely in the top 5, maybe top 10 of all time. And I really wanted my son to just see what it takes, you know, what it takes to become one of the greatest. You know, I don't necessarily want my son just to be good. I want anything that he does to be the greatest or to be one of the greatest at anything that he decides to do. So you know, that was the main reason why I wanted him to watch these movies with me, and he enjoyed it because he's a huge basketball fan, and you know, I didn't even know that he actually read a book on Pele before. So he probably going into watching the movie, he knew a little bit more about Pele than I did, you know, because he told me that. I asked him, I said, "Have you ever heard of this guy that plays soccer named Pele?" He's like, "Yeah." I read a book on him, you know, which was really great. So I figured he'd probably even enjoy the movie a little bit more. So the following day after we watched the movies, I just asked him, I've been asking him, I said, let me ask you a question. Did you learn anything from those movies? And he said, yeah, Dad. I said, what did you learn? And we hadn't talked about the movies after they finished or anything like that. You know, so I just asked him this the following day, and he was like, "Dad, I learned that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself," and that really kind of blew me away. And maybe he shouldn't have, but you know, just you know, coming from an 8-year-old, realizing just watching a movie and realizing that we have to believe in ourselves, and what I want to know is, and here's what I believe. I believe that we know these things instinctively at a very young age. But where do we lose our way? You know, there's so many people that I come across that I know could do absolutely amazing things in life if they learned to believe themselves, you know, and sometimes we may have to go back to when we were kids, man, and we didn't have all these you know, all these negative filters that have filtered out everything that, you know, everything that we perceive in life and whatnot, and just go back to when we are kids, when things were a little bit more simple. Because I believe that, you know, the answers to everything is right there in front of us, right there in us. But you know, just life ends up doing a number on many of us, and we just kind of lose our way. And we have to go back to when we were kids, when it was just so simple, you know. And it's just as simple as it was for my 8-year-old. You know, he was able to watch those movies and to take away the lesson of you have to believe in yourself. And I wish many more of us would realize that, would understand that in order for us to be successful, in order for us to accomplish all that we can do, we have to learn to believe in ourselves. And once we believe in ourselves, there's absolutely nothing that we can't do. And let me tell you something, if my 8-year-old can embody that lesson, can capture that lesson, any single one of us can, because it's the absolute truth. Once you believe in yourselves, there's absolutely nothing that you can do, you know. I think that we just go through life and we've experienced so much negativity in life. You know, we've had so many people tell us about all the things that we can't do, and there's not enough people telling us all the things that we can do. So we kind of lose our way, and we need to, find our way again and start believing in ourselves again. All right. I know you guys can do it. If my 8-year-old could figure it out, you can absolutely figure it out yourself. Right. If you want to check out those two movies, they're both on Showtime. Just search for them. The one is called Pele, and the other one is called Kobe. And great movies, definitely. All my parents that are watching this, I challenge you to watch inspiring, great movies. Movies of really great people. Watch them with your kids, and then ask them what is it that they learned from watching this movie. And it'll probably surprise you, and hopefully that'll help you to get back on the right track as well. All right. Thank you much, and until next week.